Bora. Excellency Sujiro Sims, the Ambassador of European Union to the Pacific. Excellency, welcome to Navutu village. The Turanganangase, Turanganakese, Nabuni Balu, members of the Vanua, the chairman of the board of Dialogue Fiji, senior staff from Ministry of Waterways and Environment, Director Policy, Mrs. Singh, Director Environment, Ms. Singh, Director Operations, Mr. Reddy, the Acting Permanent Secretary of Agriculture, Dr. Vinesh Kumar, senior staff from Ministry of Waterways and Environment and Agriculture, members of the Vanua, Blavina to you all. I want to thank you all on behalf of our Honorable Prime Minister for supporting the government's effort to contain the COVID-19 virus. Had we not received your support, your cooperation, we wouldn't have been able to gather here today. I take cue from Excellency Sims in saying that we are able to have just over 2/3 of our country's adult population fully vaccinated. It's not an easy task to achieve. Given the terrain of our country, given how interior where our people are located, but despite that, given the maritime division, we were able to get there and allow our people to protect themselves from the pandemic that we are facing. And again, I take cue from Excellency Sims in thanking all of our frontline workers who have been working hard, not only the health ministry, but the police force, the agriculture staff, environment staff, all those who have been on the front line, on the field, directly supporting our efforts to vaccinate people, but also indirectly supporting their households, their properties, their environment, so that they can look after themselves while facing and fighting the pandemic. It was not only about vaccinating them, but also securing the households with regard to food and nutrition, protecting their infrastructure, protecting the environmental resources. We did not close shop, as some people thought, that the entire, with the curfew and lockdowns, the entire government machinery is not working, is stopped. That was not the case. People worked from home. People took risks to come to office to ensure that our people are served. Because life has to go on. Dust will settle. So, on behalf of Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank all our frontline workers, all the staff from various ministries. And I want to thank the people on the ground, the rank and file, for making it pass through this pandemic. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today on the auspicious occasion of World Rivers Day. As alluded to by Director Operations, Acting Director Operations, World Rivers Day was yesterday. And the United Nations have dedicated different days of the year for different issues, matters, because those issues and those matters affect us, matter to us with regard to our daily life, our sustenance, our well-being. And As Excellency has said, as the chairman of the Dialogue Fiji board has said, as acting director of operations has said, for people in small island volcanic countries like Fiji, the Pacific, the Caribbean, and also the African states, rivers matter to them. It is part of their life. The quality of their livelihood, quality of their life depends a lot on the quality of the streams, the rivers, the waterways that we have, the environment surrounding it. And over the last 2 decades, discourse and dialogue to protect our waterways, our rivers, our streams have intensified, primarily because our waterways, our rivers and streams, wetlands have been abused, have been tampered with for selfish short-term gains. And now the communities around the rivers and waterways who have derived their source and livelihood from the rivers are now being threatened by the very river that they were sourcing their livelihood from. The quality of water, the litter thrown in the rivers, the waterways, chemicals being used to extract food from the rivers like prawns, thus polluting the water, which are significantly large proportion, and the proportion depending on where you are with regard to where you fall or where you are on the waterways are being affected. People are drinking, using the water to drink. People are using the water to use for other consumption purpose, for washing, for irrigation, for agriculture. And now we can see the visible negative effects of this contaminated water, the tempered waterways on the households living alongside the banks of the river, on the volume of land that is being gradually lost due to unstable river banks. And we can see the effect of this scouring and erosion of the river banks on the infrastructure around, such as houses, schools, roads, bridges, etc. It is for this reason that the United Nations have dedicated this day to discuss how we can all mobilize ourselves to protect our rivers, our waterways, and ensure that all those people who are deriving benefit from it, not only now but in future, will continue to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Waterways and Environment, together, we have been working very hard to ensure that the biological resources around our waterways are protected, our waterways are protected, and we stop the negative effect of the harmful conduct of our household sector, our farmers, our commercial sector, the loggers on the waterways. So, ladies and gentlemen, today these short but very important contribution by European Union through Dialogue Fiji to protect the waterways at Navutu village has brought us here. I want to thank the European Ambassador, who has been working very closely with Ministry of Agriculture, Waterways and Environment for a long period of time. Not only when he became the Ambassador of European Union to the Pacific, but long before that, when he was the Ambassador of Government of France to Fiji. I think that is why his remarkable and very glaring contribution to Pacific, to Fiji in the Pacific. In his prior position, got him appointed as the European Union's head in the Pacific. And congratulations once again, Excellency. And over the since last year, I think, not this budget, but the previous budget, they have made major allocation to agriculture through the government's budgetary system to ensure that agriculture takes its rightful place in the economy and contribute to national growth and development, and the benefits will trickle down to all those people who are engaged, the households, the laborers, the landowners, and all those who are supplying the various factors of production in the production process. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to implore and ask everyone in the country that they need to protect the waterways. They need to protect our natural resources. We are seeing large number of waterways being tampered with, and this is resulting in farmers, landowners losing their arable land, be it Ba, be it Navutu, be it Sigatoka and the Valley Road. You will see that how riverbank erosion is taking place. It is for several reasons, as I've alluded to. It's what's happening upstream in the catchment, agriculture practices, unsustainable agriculture practices to some extent, logging activities, people throwing debris and litter, which is reducing the discharge capacity of the waterways, and also people's entire conduct and behavior. We want the entire country to look after our waterways and understand how important it plays to the livelihood and sustenance of our rural and maritime community. I want to congratulate the Navutu village here, the members of the village for bearing with us and for allowing us to undertake the river bank restoration work that we undertook through the support of co-funded by European Union through Dialogue Fiji and the Ministry of Waterways. So with this vote, I do hope that we will spread the word around to all the other communities to protect their waterways, and we are happy the Ministry of Waterways and Environment to come and give you technical advice and support you to protect your own resources for the future generation. We have an obligation. You and I have an obligation to protect our biological resources, our waterways, the way our forefathers did, at least, so that future generations can also benefit from the same quality of the natural resources as we are doing now. It's an obligation that we need to fulfill. So thank you very much, and I would want to join your good self, Excellency Sims, and the Chairman of Dialogue Fiji Board to formally go down and for an inspection and unveil the plaque there. Thank you, Naka.
A bit over.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. You need to tell ambassadors to do that. Yeah. Just cut in the middle of Navutu. Okay. Good. Set.